Dude, I think it's awesome releasing a full-length movie on Mix It as a platform. Absolutely incredible. Check it out. Cool buzz segment, guys. Cool buzz segment. Right now, though, we can feel the temperatures are dropping. Winter is fast approaching. And this morning, we have one of my favorite menswear designers in studio, Mr. Craig Port, to take us through some men's fashion for this upcoming winter. Craig, very nice to have you in studio. Welcome, man. How are you doing?
Good, thank you, Ewan. Nice to see you
Yeah,
again.
man. So listen, you've been really busy lately, not only designing your menswear ranges, but the women's and the ladies' wear ranges as well. But it's nice to see that you're also branching out in different avenues. Before we take a look at the fashion, you recently designed some costumes for a ballet.
Yes, which was a fascinating thing for me. It was the third time I've designed costumes for a ballet, and this time I actually had really got into my groove with designing for the stage, because it's a completely different discipline to designing for fashion and for what to wear during the day.
I'm sure it takes you out of your comfort zone completely.
Completely. It's like it's a whole other world out there, you know. From the first ballet I did, where a lot of the costumes split on opening night, and you know there just wasn't enough movement for the way the body works. But when I did this one, I took so much into account of the athleticism involved in it and how the human body works that, you know, it kind of made it a bit easier for me. And so I brought in a lot of my fashion elements into the ballet, and you know what one actually needs for ballet.
And I'm sure you're also going to take away some of the ballet elements and bring it back to your fashion.
Well, that's
exactly how it.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I find has happened with this latest winter collection of mine. I've been quite kind of inspired by sportswear and how the human body works, and so cut and fit and the way one feels in clothing has become a huge. It's a huge accent in this range.
I think it's very important to feel good in your clothing. So let's take a look at your collection for winter. We're going to bring out our first model. I'm sure you guys all know this man. We all know him. Yeah, oh look, it's none other than Graham, looking very, very suave, dude. So Craig, take us through the look, man. This is obviously your collection now for this winter coming up.
Yeah, well, absolutely. I mean, I always believe the tuxedo always has a place in fashion, and I've always been fascinated with the 50s tuxedo. So I've taken a retro feel to the tuxedo, as you can notice, the satin lapels and the lapels on the shoulder. But the modern edge that makes it up to date and for 2013 is about that whole rock god feeling, and he's working it well there. He's got
Feel it, my friend. You feel it.
Well, there you are. You've got the gold studs, and you've got, you know, and now it's not about wearing your white shirt with a black bow tie. It's about having a V-neck and putting, you know, you can see it's all studded, so it gives it a whole new life and new form to what the classic tuxedo is.
It looks good, man. It looks good.
It's how it makes you feel. That is awesome. It really is cool, man.
And that being said, I mean, Graham really was just practicing his walk up and down. That's why he did it beforehand. Right, so, in your opinion, the key trends for this winter, what would you say there are? Let's bring out our next model.
Well, the key trends, I think, as I was saying, is how sportswear has come into our everyday wear and what we wear on the streets and out at night. And so this first look, you can see the dropped crotch jogger is the biggest thing in fashion right now, and across all the board, it's such a comfortable, easy wear, and people are wearing it, you know, not only in the gyms anymore, they bring it onto the streets and out at night. And it's also about being cropped and pulling up your jogger. The sweatshirt, it's an 80s icon, which now the 80s fashion again is like hitting the trend. So it's like cut-off sweatshirts, hoodies, and also then just my own logo on the front, which is very subtle, but then, you know, a number, which also gives you that sporty element.
I was going to say, with all of these things, like the drop crotch, the anything that is sports related, I like the fact that you've brought it out of the 80s with the shape and the functionality of it. It's all good and well following a trend, but if you're gonna call something a piece of athletic apparel, it's got to be able to do the job.
Well, absolutely. I mean, that's, you know, I've always been seduced by athletic feels and how performance clothing can be taken, and how cut and feel are so important in clothing. A lot of the time this is ignored, where people just put on for a fashion look. But I believe I've got it right there, that I've brought this performance wear styling into modern styling. So there is movement in your shirt. You can feel it. There's, you know, set and raglan sleeves. There's certain parts of the trousers that, you know, that make it really comfortable to move in, and you know, functional. Exactly, and functional in modern society.
That's it. Let's bring out our last model. And Craig, take us through this and talking about the essential things that men should have in their cupboards.
Well, you know, this is also a completely 80s thing, is the racerback vest, you know. A lot of people threw them out, you know, in the 80s, but it's come back, and, you know, it's such a huge trend because it is a huge flattering thing to the body, you know. It makes, guys are wearing in the gym because it gives them wider shoulders, you know, it shows off all their natural attributes, and again, this has come into what we wear on the streets, so, you know, the racerback is huge. Then again, it's bringing in the using a fabric called Ponte di Roma, which is it's a 70s fabric which has got fantastic performance enhancing.
Wow.
It absorbs well, it stretches well, and putting it into a fantastic track pant.
I like the paneling along the side. I like the shape that it gets. It's nice and strong. It's very cool, very masculine, taking something that's very low key, but you can dress it up a tiny bit. Yeah, I like the fact that you've added a bit of dynamism there. I like that a lot. That's very cool.
I also like the fact that the 80s are coming back. It was such a cool era. I was born in the 80s. I don't know about you.
I lived through the 80s.
Very cool, guys. Thank you so much, Craig.
Awesome.
Lots still ahead for you this year. What's happening with you and your label?
There's always lots. There's the big Cape Town Fashion Week, which happens in August, which is always a big one on the cards. But more recent, in the next 3 weeks, I'm originally from Durban, and there's a creative homecoming fashion show called Fashion by the Sea, where they've invited 2 designers to come back, from Durban originally, to come and show their collections in Durban. So myself and Gavin Raj are doing it. It's a fantastic show. It's on Vetchi's Pier, which is this most amazing, 200-meter long pier almost.
Wow.
And the ramp is huge, and it's like it just goes on and on and on. So I'm very excited to show my collection in my hometown and to go home and to see the family and the friends and what have you back home and show them what I've been doing for the past few years.
Brilliant.
That's goosebumps stuff, man. That's awesome, man. Enjoy it.
Awesome, Craig. Thank you so much for coming through, talking about those trends, models. Thank you to you guys. Graham, to you as well.
Thank you, sir.
All right, you did well.
It wasn't hard in this, man.
I'm sure it wasn't hard. Of course, you can check it out on our website, expressoshow.com. Get all those trends, and you could be looking. It's like these guys, eh? Hey, come on, do that that little thing you did.
Hey,
as we go into it. Yeah, that's exactly. We'll see you guys on the other side.